I scrolled through my social media feeds, hoping to find something that would lift my spirits or at least distract me from the gnawing emptiness I felt inside. But instead, a familiar emptiness gnawed at me, a void that seemed to grow with every swipe and click. My screen overflowed with images of friends on exotic vacations, colleagues celebrating promotions, and family members sharing their latest achievements. Influencers showcased their seemingly perfect lives, filled with luxury and endless joy, making my own life feel dull in comparison. I clicked through countless stories, each one fueling my growing sense of inadequacy and isolation. It was as if everyone else had figured out the secret to happiness, while I was left behind. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was constantly connected, yet I felt utterly alone, surrounded by a digital crowd, but isolated in my own reality. Despite having hundreds of online friends, I craved genuine connections, the kind that went beyond likes and comments. I longed for interactions that left me feeling seen and heard, not empty and inadequate. I wanted conversations that mattered, not just fleeting exchanges. My digital interactions felt superficial, leaving me with a nagging sense that I was missing out on something real, something tangible. The curated highlight reels of others only amplified my own feelings of emptiness. It was as if their joy highlighted my own lack of fulfillment. The more time I spent in the digital world, the more disconnected I felt from myself and the world around me. It was a paradox of modern life. I longed for a sense of belonging, a community where I could be my authentic self without the pressure of likes and comments. I wanted to be part of something real. Deep down, I knew that true connection couldn't be found in the fleeting interactions of the online world. It required more than just a screen and a keyboard.
His phone slipped from his grasp, a symbol of his growing discontent with the digital facade. It landed on the table with a dull thud, echoing the emptiness he felt inside. This was not the life he had envisioned. João yearned for something more, a life filled with purpose and genuine human connection. He wanted to break free from the digital chains that bound him. He knew he needed to make a change, but the question was, where to begin? The path to true connection seemed daunting, yet he felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps it started with looking up from his screen and reaching out to the world around him.
I realized that social media, with its carefully crafted personas and highlight reels, had become a breeding ground for comparison and self-doubt. I found myself constantly measuring my life against the carefully curated images and stories of others, leading to a perpetual sense of inadequacy. The relentless pursuit of likes and comments had become a hollow substitute for genuine validation. I noticed how social media encouraged a culture of superficiality, where appearances and online personas often took precedence over genuine interaction and self-expression. The pressure to present a perfect image online left little room for vulnerability or authenticity, further fueling my feelings of isolation. I began to question the very nature of these online connections. Were they truly friendships, or simply a collection of digital profiles with whom I exchanged fleeting interactions? I longed for deeper conversations, for shared experiences that went beyond the superficiality of online exchanges. I realized that true connection stemmed from shared vulnerability, empathy, and a willingness to be present with another human being, flaws and all.
The realization hit him hard. He had been seeking validation in the wrong places, chasing after fleeting digital approval instead of cultivating genuine connections and pursuing his own passions. It was time for João to disconnect from the digital noise and reconnect with himself and the world around him in a more meaningful way.
I decided to take a radical step. I would embark on a digital detox. It wasn't an easy decision, but I knew it was necessary for my well-being. I deleted my social media apps, silencing the constant notifications and comparisons that had plagued me for so long. The initial moments were filled with anxiety, as if I had severed a lifeline to the world. The silence was initially deafening, but gradually it became a source of peace and clarity. I began to notice the subtle sounds around me, the rustling of leaves, the distant hum of traffic, and even my own breathing. Freed from the distractions of the digital world, I began to rediscover a long-forgotten passion: writing. It was as if a door had opened, inviting me to explore a realm I had abandoned. I dusted off my old notebook and began to fill its pages with my thoughts, feelings, and observations. Each page turned was a step back into a world where my imagination could roam freely. Words flowed effortlessly, each sentence a step away from the digital noise and closer to my authentic self. The act of writing became a meditative practice, grounding me in the present moment. Writing became my sanctuary, a space where I could explore my inner world without judgment or the pressure of external validation. It was a private dialogue with myself, a way to understand my own thoughts and emotions. I poured my heart into my words, finding solace in the act of creation itself rather than the pursuit of likes and shares. The joy of writing was pure and untainted by external expectations. As I delved deeper into my writing, I began to tap into a wellspring of creativity I never knew I possessed. Ideas flowed like a river, each one more exciting than the last.
With each word, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a connection to his true self that had been lost in the digital haze, a sense of connection to something larger than himself. He realized that his words had the power to touch others, to inspire and to heal. Writing was not just a hobby, it was a path to self-discovery, a way to process his experiences and make sense of the world around him. It was a journey inward, revealing layers of his personality he had long forgotten. And in this rediscovery of passion, João began to heal the sense of isolation that had plagued him for so long. He found a new sense of community within himself, a place where he belonged. Eventually, João began to share his writing with others, finding joy in the connections he made through his words. His stories resonated, creating bonds that transcended the superficial interactions of social media. Through this journey, João learned that true connection comes from the heart, from sharing one's authentic self with the world. And in doing so, he found not only his passion, but also his purpose. Driven by a desire to further explore the depths of his inner world, João decided to attend a silent meditation retreat. He had always been curious about the transformative power of silence and mindfulness, and this retreat seemed like the perfect opportunity to delve deeper into his own consciousness. Nestled amidst rolling hills and serene forests, the retreat center offered a sanctuary from the noise and distractions of everyday life. The natural beauty of the surroundings provided a perfect backdrop for introspection and self-discovery, allowing participants to reconnect with nature and themselves.
I felt a mix of apprehension and excitement as I surrendered my phone and other digital devices, embracing the unfamiliar silence. It was a daunting prospect to be disconnected from the digital world, but I knew it was a necessary step to fully immerse myself in the experience.
The days were long and structured, filled with guided meditations, mindful walking, and periods of silent reflection. Each activity was designed to help participants cultivate a deeper sense of presence and awareness, guiding them gently towards inner peace. At first, João struggled to quiet his racing thoughts. The constant chatter of his mind seemed louder in the silence, making it difficult to focus on the present moment. His mind, accustomed to the constant stimulation of the digital world, resisted the stillness. The transition from a life filled with notifications and alerts to one of quiet contemplation was not easy.
Yet, as the days turned into nights, I began to experience moments of profound peace and clarity. The silence, which initially felt oppressive, started to reveal its true nature as a source of strength and insight.
He learned to observe his thoughts and emotions without judgment, acknowledging their presence without allowing them to control him. This practice of non-judgmental awareness became a powerful tool in his journey towards inner peace. The practice of mindfulness, of bringing his attention to the present moment, gradually chipped away at the layers of anxiety and self-doubt that had weighed him down for so long. Each mindful breath, each moment of awareness brought him closer to a state of inner calm.
The silence, once daunting, can become a source of strength and insight. It allows us to hear the whispers of our own soul, to understand our true desires and fears.
João began to notice the subtle beauty of his surroundings, the gentle rustling of leaves, the warmth of the sun on his skin. These small details, often overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily life, became sources of immense joy and gratitude. In the absence of external distractions, he began to connect with a deeper part of himself, a place of stillness and peace that had always been there, hidden beneath the surface. This newfound connection brought a sense of fulfillment and contentment that he had never experienced before. The retreat was not just a break from the outside world, but a journey into the depths of his own being, revealing the profound beauty of simply being present. As João delved deeper into the practice of meditation, he discovered the transformative power of presence. He learned to appreciate the beauty and fullness of each moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
The constant chatter of my mind began to subside, replaced by a newfound sense of awareness and appreciation for the present moment.
He realized that true happiness and fulfillment were not destinations to be reached, but rather states of being to be cultivated in the here and now. By learning to be fully present in each moment, João began to experience a sense of joy and contentment that had eluded him for far too long.
I started to pay attention to the simple things, the taste of my food, the sound of birdsong, the feeling of the breeze on my face.
These seemingly insignificant details took on a new significance, becoming sources of wonder and gratitude. He learned to approach his daily activities with a renewed sense of mindfulness, finding joy in the ordinary and appreciating the preciousness of each passing moment.
The lessons I learned on the retreat extended far beyond the confines of the meditation hall. I carried the principles of mindfulness and presence with me into my daily life, transforming the way I interacted with the world and the people around me.